So,
Amiya,
yes, Bash.
how you feeling?
Feeling great. How are you feeling?
You feeling great? You feeling
No,
great?
that's right. How's prep?
Prep is busting my butt.
I know that's right.
I'm tired, I'm hungry.
It's okay. You'll see it through.
10 weeks out. We're gonna
10
get there.
weeks?
10 weeks. But today is not about me,
Right.
unfortunately. Just kidding. For real though, today's not about me, today's about you. So I wanted to do this video and I wanted to make sure I got you on camera because you have a very special story. The more detail you provide, the more context you provide, the better.
Right.
So talk about everything through and through, when you first started, where you were at mentally, and where you saw yourself. We're gonna start there, and then yeah, kind of just be honest. I do have a list of questions prepared for you, so we'll run through those questions, and then yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So, the reason behind the journey, at one point I was at my worst, depressed.
Let's start with like, where you at now? Like, what did you accomplish?
What did we accomplish in life thus far? I'd say since starting the journey, I've accomplished a lot of things. My greatest accomplishment is losing over 100+ pounds. Also being able to consistently kind of go to the gym, work out, and then improve my diet as well as improve my quality of life. Just being able to, the main thing was my mobility and my health, which those two things have drastically improved since working out and also getting weight loss surgery in November, well, this past November.
And what was your motive behind the surgery?
So the reason behind getting the surgery, honestly, was just I was at a point in my life where I had tried yo-yo dieting 1,010,000 times, and I had a food addiction as well as a binge eating disorder, and those two things coupled together really were hard for me to manage on my own. And so I knew that I needed an additional tool to be able to be successful with weight loss, because at that point it had become more than just weight loss. It had become a detriment to my health as well as my mental health. So I was like, something's got to give. And at that point I knew that having weight loss surgery wouldn't be a cure-all, but it would be something that would assist me and aid me in making this transition into a healthier lifestyle a little bit easier.
And I guess give us a little bit more insight on like your binge eating disorder and your and you said what else? Your binge
Food
eating
addiction.
and food addiction?
Yes.
Like give us a little bit more insight on that. Like what was that like?
Having a eating and food addiction at that point, which some people may not understand what that looks like, but I'm a person who stress eats, or if like something sad, at one point if I was sad I was eating, if I was upset I was eating, if I was happy I was eating. Like that's how I dealt with my emotions, was eating. And I would overeat, and it would just be like, at some points I would just DoorDash or Instacart or Uber Eats food like multiple times a day, and that's just how I dealt with my emotions. I spent a lot of time isolated by myself because I got to a point where I didn't go outside because I didn't feel comfortable being outside or in public. I just felt more comfortable being at home. And I also started working from home, so my lifestyle was very sedentary. So at that point I had gotten myself to a point to where I was just by myself. And at that point, I didn't really lean on any of my support system. I just kind of leaned on food. And so anything that was going on in my life, like it pretty much revolved around eating. And I had got myself to a point to where I was pretty much immobile. I'm not gonna lie, like I couldn't even really walk around a store. Like I didn't go grocery shopping. I would just Instacart all my groceries if I was cooking, but for the most part I was just eating out. And it had just gotten to a point to where everything in my life was just like food. And at that point I was like okay with it, but it really took my relatives and my friends and my support system like noticing those bad habits to be like, okay, so you're going through a lot, whatever you're going through, you know what I'm saying? Like what are we gonna do to change it? Because at this point, I'm not gonna lie, at that point, I had so many health issues. It was like if I didn't change, I was going to die.
So like when we crossed paths, like where was your head at? And then also too, why you choose me?
Okay, so at that point in my life, when I had first saw Bash, I was like scrolling on TikTok. I follow a lot of like TikTok influencers who were like into fitness, because although I was not practicing fitness and nutrition, I spent a lot of time researching it because like I said, I yo-yo dieted a lot. So I spent a lot of time researching people who are into fitness. He happened to come across my FYP, and I was like, okay, I like his content. And at that point, I had just had surgery. Like I was just fresh out of surgery, and I saw that he was in Houston. I saw he was a trainer, and I knew for myself, I was like, if I want to be successful on this journey, then I need help as well, because I don't do the fitness aspect. Like the nutrition part, I understood, but as far as like fitness, I didn't understand any of that. I've never been active. I didn't play sports as a kid, so like I didn't understand how to physically move my body in order to see results. I didn't understand that concept. So I was like, I need help, and I saw Bash, and I was like, okay. He's here, he's in Houston, he's young, he's growing, he's a trainer. I pick him. And so that's how I found you.
Cool. And let me see. Let's get into some of these questions now. All right, cool. So first question from the list of questions, now that we have a lot more context, is after losing 100 pounds and being in the gym and learning a little bit more about yourself and your body and fitness, how do you feel like you've improved?
So I think I've definitely improved as far as like my stamina and my endurance. Before, like I said, was very immobile. Couldn't even walk 0.5 miles. That was a lot. Now I'm able to walk 2 miles. Is it a little hard for me? Yes, but it's still progress, and I've seen that over time. I've also improved my quality of life. I used to not go outside. Now I'm more comfortable going outside. I'm able to fit into cuter clothes, so I'm able to, get into some stuff that I wasn't before. It's just overall a better experience for me. It doesn't feel like I'm in a hole. I feel like I can just live again.
Good. I'm happy to hear that. Question number 2 is, what is something you feel like I could do better to help you achieve your goals faster? Because I'm assuming, does it end here? Is it you hit the 100-pound mark and you're done, you good, or like what? Like I'm assuming that you wanna keep pushing.
Yes, so although I've lost over 100 pounds, the goal was 225 pounds. So it's like only halfway. And as far as what Bash can do to help me, there's nothing that he can do. It's more so me. I'm not gonna lie, I don't show up here every day. I'm supposed to come 3 times a week. I maybe done that a couple times. So it's really just me showing up for myself and being accountable for myself. As far as Bash, if we're here, like if I come, he's going to do his part. And he's always checking on us, making sure like even when we don't come, that we're good. Well, speaking for myself, even if I don't come, that I'm good. So it's nothing that Bash could do. It's just more so me holding myself accountable and making sure that I show up.
And even though you haven't been here as consistently as you'd like, what do you feel like actually has helped you like lose all that weight, right? Is it just the surgery, or are there other components outside of like training with me and working with me that's helped you lose that weight?
So the surgery is the tool, and just that. You can have weight loss surgery, but if you don't eat properly, if you don't follow your surgeon's recommendations for your diet, if you don't have any type of physical activity in your life, it will slow down the process or stop it completely. I know for myself that if I am not eating properly as well as working out, then I won't lose any weight, because I live a very sedentary lifestyle as far as my job. I work a desk job and I work from home majority of the time. So I'm not getting a lot of physical activity in outside of when I come work out with Bash, or if I go do any cardio on my own. So it definitely helps to do both. It's not something that you can just do. Some people talk about, diet being the most important part. Yes, it is the most important part, and they talk about being a caloric deficit. That is important as well, but if you're not moving at all, like if you're not moving and grooving at all, maybe that weight is not coming off.
Yeah.
It's not moving.
Yeah, and so that's actually something I teach you guys, or try to teach you guys all the time, is there are different ways to maintain a calorie deficit, and only one of them is nutrition. The other way is like physical activity. So like if you're not constantly making the effort to be physically active, it's going to be very difficult for you to really maintain a calorie deficit.
Right.
And really, with physical activity and with you staying in that calorie deficit through physical activity, you're actually pushing yourself further into a deficit. So you're really only doing yourself a favor by being active and staying active.
He is correct. Move your ass.
Move that ass. What else we got? So, and since we're on the topic of surgery, right? What do you have to say to people that say that like surgery is cheating and like you just cheated your way into weight loss? Like, what would you say to people who would say that to you?
Honestly, I'd say that if you've never been plus size and had weight loss surgery, then you don't know what you're talking about. It can seem easier, but it's actually a very hard, invasive process. And it is something that should not be taken lightly. You don't just hop up on the table one day and be like slice and dice. That's not how that works, especially if you're getting it done in the US, depending on your insurance. For me, it was a very long, tedious process. And I actually had complications during one of my procedures that I had to get prior to the surgery. And I almost didn't get it because I was in the hospital for 4 days. And I had to aspirate on the table. So it's not something that you can just take lightly. Like any type of surgery, you cannot take lightly. At a certain point in time, after I got my surgery, I regretted it. I'm not gonna lie. I was in so much pain. I was so uncomfortable. I thought it was the worst decision I had ever made. I couldn't eat, I couldn't drink, I couldn't do anything. And I really thought I had made the worst decision for myself. But with that being said, over time, once my body started to acclimate and I started to heal, I really was able to really see the benefit of it. And it's just a tool. Like I said, if you're not eating right, if you're not following your doctor's nutrition plan for you, if you're not getting your protein goals, you're not taking your vitamins, you're not taking your water, you're not getting your water in, it honestly will not help you at all. People get weight loss surgery and regain the weight every day. I know people personally who have gotten weight loss surgery and have not been successful. It's not something that's going to make you may lose weight in the beginning just because of the dietary restrictions, but once you're able to eat regular food again and you have to make the conscious effort to eat properly and diet properly, if you're not doing that, you're going to fail. Sorry.
And then my last question for you is, what words of advice do you have for someone in your shoes, right? Like, let's say there's somebody that's contemplating getting surgery or that has already gotten it, and on top of getting like nutritional advice and guidance from their doctor, how should they go about like picking a trainer? Because I'm assuming that like you don't necessarily just want to work with any trainer, right?
No.
So like, how would somebody go about picking a trainer that can like really accommodate them and their needs, especially in a situation like this?
Okay. So as far as picking a trainer, I recommend you do your research as far as who you're working with. Obviously look into, who they're training, and, if they have content on social media, look into that, see how they train. Also speak with them, see how willing they are to understand your situation. Bash wasn't very familiar with what I was going through in my situation, but he was willing to learn. Bash took the time to do the research, and I feel like that's very important. If your trainer is not willing to accommodate how he works with you, if he treats you like every other client that he has, and you're just like everyone else, you're not like everyone else. And I think that it's very important that your trainer understands that how you eat, how you drink, how like your whole physical body is different than everyone else's. And if they can't understand that, if they can't make those accommodations, then you may not want to work with them. But if they are, and they are understanding, then I think that would be a good fit for you as well. And then also talk to your trainer about what your overall goals are. You may not want to, work on X, Y, and Z. So then you talk to them and let them know, hey, I'm looking to do this. And they should then be able to help you reach those goals. And if they're kind of just trying to put you on a straight and narrow plan and not help you reach those goals that you have specifically set for yourself, or if you're not reaching those goals in the time frame that you're wanting, but you're doing all the things that you need to do, then maybe not working with them would be the best solution.
I agree. And I'm glad that you said that like this was an area that I'm not familiar with, because it wasn't. I've never had a client in this situation before, and so like this is something that I feel like I try to talk about a lot in regards to being a trainer. Like being a trainer is a job. It's not something that you can just pick up and do one day, because these are people's lives that you're trying to impact and that you're trying to positively impact and help. Like you have literally their health in your hands. And so the way I view training and the way that I view being a trainer is like, my goal is to become better and better every day. So like, do the research, take the time to talk to people, like try to understand their bodies, try to understand what their needs are. Like, tell them, be honest with them, hey, like, I don't know how to do this. Can you give me some insight on it? Or like, what can I do to learn more about it? And I feel like those are some of the key things that like every trainer should be able to do and tap into. And those are questions that trainers should ask if their primary goal is to become a better trainer. If you just want to be a trainer that just comes in and tells somebody what to do so you can make your money and go home, cool, like whatever. But like, if you actually want to make an impact on people's lives, then taking that extra step to ask those questions and to do that little bit of research, it goes a long way. So yeah, that's all I got to say from the trainer's perspective. But I'm very proud of you. I'm very happy that we had the opportunity to sit down and have this conversation and for you to share your thoughts and share your experience. And I'm excited to see what we're able to do more of in the future.
Right, because we got to get, we're trying to get 150.
150? 3 times a week? Amiya.
I'm work in progress, okay? I'm working on me right now, and that may not look like coming 3 times a week, but I'm going to attempt at the start of every week, I'm going to tell myself I'm going to show up here 3 times.
All right, I love that. Boom. Good stuff. Get out of here, go home.
Ooh, child.
I got more soldiers in the military, I got more stones in a cemetery, I have more strings than y'all in February. It's getting hard to put a price on a show, can't even pick an amount now. If a nigga really try to jam me, get jammed first like the countdown. I thank God for that flight straight from the 9 side going southbound. They say that life's about balance, baby, and the balance is in my account now.